In Module 3, one of our topics is the application of what we know about child development and early learning. One thing we need to clarify and make sure we take note of is the difference between development and learning. As defined in our textbook, development is broken into 4 domains: physical, cognitive, social, and emotional. Sometimes, as in with the Kansas Early Learning Standards, social and emotional is combined into one standard. Also, language is often incorporated into cognitive domain, although sometimes you will also see language pulled out. Development is age specific. It is related to the child's age, growth, adaptation, and changes dependent upon experience, exposure, opportunity. Learning is a change in knowledge or skill. So it's more skill-based, information-based, ability-based. Learning is based upon experience and instruction. And so, but although they are similar, there is a difference. So why do teachers need to understand development and learning theories? Listed here are the 6 reasons as taken from your textbook. Achievable goals, age-appropriate goals, accurately interpreting children's behavior so you can guide them better, knowing the predictable sequence of development so that you can plan appropriate activities, being able to identify activities that are going to be interesting or meaningful, social and cultural contexts, and then also understanding typical and atypical development so you can help individual children with both their strengths and their weaknesses. So already this semester, we know we've learned that not all children learn the same way or have the exact same needs. And this has led us to the research surrounding developmentally appropriate practices, which we studied in Module 2. And everyone did a really outstanding job with identifying what is developmentally appropriate versus not, and putting that theory and those principles into practice. In this chapter, you're going to be introduced to 5 development theories, which you have likely had in class before. If you've taken ECE 101, Early Childhood Development and Growth, you've been exposed to these. If you've taken general psychology or developmental psychology, you've seen these before. We're going to explore 2 learning theories. One, more about cause and effect, the teacher teaching, coaching, instructing, or experiences that create a behavior. Where the social cognitive theory focuses on imitating, watching the environment around the learner themselves. So we're going to explore those 2 theories as well. This will lead us into a brief discussion about play and why play is important in early childhood. So why play? One reason, as pointed out in our textbook, is play creates a natural zone of proximal development. And proximal development, if we go back to our development theory with Vygotsky and his sociocultural theory, is that we want to get to that point where it's a little beyond what you can do all by yourself, but it's not so challenging that it leaves you lost or extremely frustrated. So you want to find that zone of proximal development. And one aspect of play is it's very natural for us all to find our zone of proximal development. Also, play allows us the opportunity to take on different perspectives, to think of life, ideas, opportunities from someone's perspective other than our own in a way that's much more appropriate for young children and more meaningful than trying to have that abstract conversation. Play naturally builds self-regulation. Self-regulation is extremely important in academic success and later work success. Play is naturally self-motivating. Most people don't have to be forced to go play. And so with that, you will persist longer. You'll try things that you wouldn't normally try, take risks. Also, play naturally builds in communication and collaboration opportunities, whether it's with other children or adults. All of this leads to the idea of developmentally appropriate practice. Remember, we focus on the individual development, the domains, the age-appropriate ideas. And yet we take in the culturally appropriate, the context of the child within their environment, which leads you back to some of those socio-cultural theories that you will study in this chapter. One supplemental piece that is offered in this module is the discussion of loose parts. And you have 2 videos in your study tools that I hope you watch and that will help you complete the discussion board for this module. Loose parts are an interesting concept that we're finding gain a lot of attention in early childhood. So rather than buying toys from Target and Walmart and your local toy store that are already designed for particular play, the idea of loose parts is taking things from the natural environment or from the home and providing them in a way that is interesting and allowing the child to explore and engage in a more imaginative and complex way. So this kind of brings us to the end of chapter 4 for module 3. You also have another chapter which is on individual differences, and a lot of that information is also addressed in your IRIS module that you will complete for module 3. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out.